Okay, so there are times when we require dynamic headers. Okay, so like suppose my user has selected Electra brand, so he should be able to see Electra. If he selects Richie, he should be able to see Richie. If he selects two, he should be able to see all those things. So how to do these things? How to perform these things? So that's what we can do using creating a measure. So this measure I've created it here. I'll first just explain this measure and we'll go it one by one. So first of all, what I have done is I have created one variable. One variable, this variable I named it as a select count. What it is doing, it is doing that, what is the count doing? So first of all, what I have to do, I have to check that how many numbers of brand name I have selected. So first I will do that, and all those measures will be then shown. So this is what this measure is going to do. So first of all, it is checking selected count. So selected count is the first of all, it is checking like how the Power BI DAX function works. It works from inside out. So it works from very inner, the very inner thing will be calculated first, and then it will calculate in the opposite direction. So here there is one if condition and there is the next second if condition. So first this if condition will be executed and then this if condition will be executed. So just to read that, if has one value, which has one value, brand name. So if this brand name has one value, then say 1. If it has not one value, it could be anything else than 1, then if it's filtered, then what is then means the else condition which is not 1, then age filtered brand name. Age filtered brand name is it just check that if the brand name is filtered or not. It could be because if it is not 1, it could be 0 as well. So first of all, it will check if it is filtered or not. So if it is filtered, then count the number of rows which are filtered. Else, since it is not filtered, because is filtered is 0, then return 0. So this is how this will execute and this will give me a count. The second is I have selected that now tell me that how the number of if I have selected number of brands, if I have selected 3 number of brands, so show me all those brands. So this can be shown like this. So I have used the switch function. So switch function will take this value selected count. It will check switch selected count this value. So if this selected count switch selected count equal to 0. So if I have not selected anything, it should return me 0. So switch works like an if else condition, but there can be multiple if condition, multiple if else condition. So here I have selected 0, then it should return me all. If I have selected 1, then it should give me selected value of brand name. And if it is not 0, not 1, it means there is a multiple selection. Then concatenate X. What concatenate? Concatenate all the selections and separate it by comma. So all those values, like if I have selected 2 brands, it will concatenate those 2 brands and separate it by comma. So this is what this is doing, and this is stored in this variable selected member. So very simply, I am just returning return names and concatenating with the selected members. So this is one thing. Now let us do it one by one to understand what is happening here. So okay. So first of all, I'll show you how this count is working. this DAX is very much important when you are creating a dynamic title. So, Manu, unmute yourself when you have questions. Don't hesitate.
Yes, Deepa, sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'll just name it count count value, and I have named it variable. Now you can this variable selected count. See, I can use this one again time, the selected count, this variable name, because because here it will say it will just say, let me just check what is the syntax error. Syntax of this is incorrect. Where why it is incorrect? This this mm-hmm, mm-hmm. That's where if has one value, then is filter count. If this has one value, then one. Else, so inside this else condition, this is this. Inside this, okay, let me first check. Inside this, let us try 0. Mm-hmm. So if this has, what is the error? Mm-hmm. Column name, this is fine. Then, so if this has, if logical test result true, then 1, else 0. What's the issue then? If has one value brand name, if this has one value, if has one value, has one value returns true or false. So it returns suppose true. That's what I was trying to write. This is true. Then give me 1, else give me 0. Select syntax for this is incorrect. That's word selected count if this. What is happening? Hmm. Ah, got it. Hmm. Okay. So the error was, I'm really sorry. I was just trying to count. If this has one value, then 1 returns 0. If it is not one value. Now I want to see that you got this right, Manu?
Yes, Deepa, I'm
Yeah.
also trying to understand. Yes.
Okay, let me write it again. Okay. So first of all, I'm trying to condition if. Okay. So inside, if I want to say if has one value, what does one has one value say? It says it returns true when there is only one value in the specified column. Okay. From which column I want to see? I want to check it from the brand name. So I want to see that in this brand name, how many values I have. Okay. So if it has one value, it will return you 1, it will return you true or return false. Okay. So now for this you have to write an if condition. Else it will, like, what it will return. Let's see first. Let me create a measure for this. This side. Okay. So we have everything here, and just give one measure, and I'll select this. Okay. So for currently it is showing me false because I haven't selected any value. Okay. Now I'll select 1. So it is returning me true. Why it is returning me true, Manu? It is returning me true because I have selected one value. Yeah?
Yes, because it's a brand name. Yes.
No, because I have selected one brand name. So my filter was to calculate if it has one value.
Yes. Okay.
Now if I select 2,
They're false. Okay.
because I have not selected one value, I have selected multiple. Yeah?
Right.
Yeah.
That's count value has one value. Okay.
Now I have not
So
selected
has
anything.
one value. So has one value is a function.
Yes, has one value is a
Okay.
function. Yes, see? It's a blue color. Similarly, there is another function which is edge filtered. What does edge filter says? Edge filter is returns true when there is a direct filter on specified column. Okay, so let's see what it returns. So currently my edge filtered is returning me false. Why? Because I have not filtered anything. Now let's see. It is returning me true because I have filtered this brand name and I filtered a heller. Yeah. So now this is giving me. So these are common filters with the common DAGs which are available in Power BI, which is very intuitive. Very the name suggests how it works. Has one value, returns true when there is only one value in the specified column. So there are similar DAGs available in Power BI. Now just we have to develop a logic that how to show multiple values. Okay, that's one. Now there is one more function which is called concatenate x. Con con I'm not able to write it here. Yeah, concatenate x. So what does the concatenate x is? It asks evaluate expression for each row on the table, then returns the concatenation of those values in a single string. So first of all, what it is requiring? It always requires a table. Okay, the output of your selection should always be a table. From that table, if there are multiple rows, like if I have 5 rows in that table, it will concatenate all those values. Like if I have A, B, so I have two values in this table. So it will return A comma B. Okay. So this is
Yes.
concatenate X. Concatenate X. So the expression is very
What
simple.
does what does concatenate without x means?
Yeah.
Deepa? Join two
So
text strings
concatenate
into one
join text
text.
string into one string. So if there are multiple text string, it will return me. So it is not in the multiple rows. It is in the same column. Like see, concatenate. Okay. Now I can use two different measures to use concatenate. I'll write A. I'll then write B. Output is AB. Okay, it is concatenating AB. See, joins two text string into one string. So there are two
Yes.
text string I used and it is using that. Okay, so that's how concatenate works. But now what our thing was using, what we wanted that when I'm filtering this, what is happening behind the scene? This is coming from a table. This brand name is coming from a table, right?
Yes.
And now if I'm filtering on 3-4 brand names, what I'm doing, I'm filtering my table, which is going to result me some smaller table with filtered brand name. I've filtered 2 brand names, so it will result me a table which have only 2 brand names. Yeah. So that is my criteria, that out of those 2 brand name I want them to be comma separated. So the logic I used is this: I first counted that how many values are there. Is it 1? Is it 0? Is it multiple? So when I have not selected anything, it means I am selecting all, because in Power BI if you are not selecting anything, it means it will not filter any of your visual. You are getting the resultant of all the values, which is all the data which is in the report. That's why the resultant is all. I want like this: if I am selecting one, so my title should say that you are viewing a report which is filtering a brand name Sun Bicycle. And if I am filtering two, so my user should be very much aware that he is seeing a report which is filtering data which has brand names Strider and Sun Bicycle. So for this I am using this logic, that first of all count that how many values you are filtering. So this value is doing this. If has one value, just we understood. So this has one value. What it is trying to say, that if you are selecting only one value, then return 1. If you are not selecting one value, then check. Then check that are you filtering? Are you really filtering? So are you really filtering can be checked by edge filter. So edge filtered will only return true when you are filtering something, either one or either multiple. So now this will tell me that how many values I have filtered. Suppose I have filtered 2 values. So it will count the values. It will count the number of rows that I have filtered. Yeah. Now, if this edge filtered will return false, it means I have not filtered anything. So if I have not filtered anything, it will return me 0. That's what I am doing. Is that okay?
Yes, Deepa.
Yeah. I'm hoping that you understood this. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Let me just use it here. Okay. So here it is returning me 0 because I have not filtered anything. Now let's see. I have filtered 1. So it is returning me 1. Let's filter 3. So it is returning me 3. Okay. So now I have filtered these 3 values. Now I want to tell that if I have filtered nothing, if I have not filtered anything, then tell the user that you have not filtered anything. You are seeing a report which do not have any filter. So you are seeing values with all brand names. And if I have filtered one, then show my user that he has filtered this one product, and basis the number of selection he is doing. So this is my logic that I have applied in the second case, where I have used switch condition. So forget about the switch condition first. First understand. So if my user, because select count is the variable, so if my user has selected, if the resultant of this selected count is 0, then return all. If this resultant of selected count is 1, then use whatever the selected value is in the brand name. You remember, do you know about the selected value bag? I think I told you.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So whatever I have selected in the brand name, it will result me. So if I have selected only one value, it will return me the brand name of that selected value. And if I have not selected 0 and not 1, it means I have selected some multiple value, which will be like this, A, B, C, D in multiple rows. So for that multiple rows which are coming into a table, I would write concatenate X function, because concatenate X only goes rows by rows. Concatenate just see the type of text and it just joins. So concatenate X function, it first asks for a table that I just told you. So what table? The table that you have filtered, and then it asks for that on which column of that table. So the column name is this one, and what is the delimiter you want to use. So this is what this function is doing. So let's work on this. So this was my one filter which was counting. Now the another filter is selected members. So selected member will show me the same thing, but yeah, I think it would be in this measure only. Yeah. Okay. So first we'll understand if switch. What did I mean? Count. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What measures will we use? Not this one. This one. Hmm. So you just now remember that we calculated one measure which was count. Yes, it was just counting that how many selection I was doing. Yeah, how many selections I'm doing on brand name. So it was just counting. Now I'm using this measure, I'm reusing this measure on my different measure which I have just calculated, selected one. So this is the selected member. So on selected member, I have just said, like I have just used a switch function. So what does a switch function do? Let me first write it again. Switch. So what did switch function ask for? Okay. So switch function returns different result depending upon the value of expression. So if my expression is returning 0, it will return me some value. If my expression is returning 1, it will return me some different value. So depending, like it can be used as a dynamic, or you can say nested if condition. So rather if nested, using a nested if condition, I can use a switch function. So switch function, so on what measure I am using this? I am using count value. So this was my count, this one. Then it is asking me that for which value you want to result what. So I just said that when it is 0, you return all. Then I said see, asking for second value and second result. So I'll say when it is 1, then what do you want to return? I want to return the selected value of brand name. Okay. Now, if it is not 0, not 1, if it is other than this, so I'll say then concatenate. Other than this is concatenate. So this is that. I'll say concatenate. Concatenate x. Now concatenate x, it will ask me for the table. So from which table? So the table would be filter. Which filter? Brand name. Filter the table brands. Filter expression would be brand name. So this would be my table. And then what I want to return? I want to return here. See? If it is 1, then return this. Then else return concatenate x brand name. And I want to return it using a separation of filter brands. Okay, using it as filters. You can also use filters. Yeah, filters, brand name, and then concatenate. So yes, this we can do here. Okay, let me first show you what filters asks for. So filter returns a table directly applied to a specified column. And what was filter? Filter returns a table that has been filtered. So it is returning you a table that has been filtered. But here what you are doing? You are filtering one specific column. So you can also use filters. So filters will return you directly brand name. You can directly write the column name. Then it will ask you that how do you want to filter. So first of all you gave a table. Then you want to write the expression. So expression, you have written this expression. This is your expression and this is your delimiter. So expression would be my brand name. And then what it will ask? Then it will ask for a delimiter. How do you want to separate? Suppose I said that no, I want to separate it by pi. Okay, so let's see. See? Is that okay, Manu?
Yes, Deepa. Got it.
Yeah. So what I did here, I wrote two measures. One was to do a count, and second was to use that count to show me the selected values. So rather than using two measures separately, here only one measure is created. And how do you use that two measures? Using variable. So variable function is storing the value, storing the selected count value, storing the selected member value, and then returning. Here I am returning name like this. You can use, do you remember how do you concatenate multiple text? So you can use concatenate function, you can even use directly like this, or there is one more function, you remember? I told you.
Along with the concatenate.
How do you, like if I want to write a title, I want to concatenate some few values, like I want to say this report is and the selected value. What will I write? You remember I told you about combined values. You might have found. So
Okay.
combined value, ask for a delimiter. So any delimiter you can write. Then it asks for expression. So here you can write expression. the brand names. Suppose I want to write like I want to write brand name, and then it asks for the third expression. So third expression is my selected value, selected member. So this is my third expression. Okay, let's see what it results. Okay, so that's how my result is here. You see, if I want to return some space,
Yes.
give it a space. Understood? It looks like a big expression, but ideally it is not. It is just one if
Yes.
condition and another if condition, and I'm using it. So this is very important function. You should try this. Next we did sample period last year. So this is one more function. Let's see that. Okay. Let me get the dates. So it is using total sales calendar date. Okay. So let me use the date function. And values. Okay. So what same period last year function serves? Same period last year function is a standard calculation available in Power BI, though I never use this function, but just to for the sake of learning you should know this. Same period last year means like if I have selected 1 month, if I have selected like here, I have selected 2004 2021. Okay, 26th, 26th of May 2021. So in this year, I can see that there is a sales of 39,376. Okay, 0.13. Now, what is same period last year? That on this period, what was the sales on last year? So what it do is it checks going to the same period which was on 2026. Sorry, this one is now where we were 39. Which value I was looking for? Yeah, this one. So it will look at 26 April 2020 and check that if there is any sales there or not. So if there is no sales, it will return me 0. So similarly for 5th Feb 2020, so let me first arrange it. So you see, same period last year does not have any sales for 2018. Why? Can you say why?
No sales for 2018.
No, there is sales for 2018, but there is no
Right.
sales for same period last year. Why? Because in our data set, the values are starting from 2018 only. So now this calculation will check to 2017 for same period last year, and that's why there is no sales. Yeah. So similarly, if you go further after 2018, you can see that now see 1st January 2019, it is showing me 11,929. Now let's go above 11,929. You see this value?
Yes, Deepa.
11,000. So 11,929 was a value which was a sales for 1st January 2018. So now if I go to 1st January 2019 and I will say that what was the sales same period last year. So for the same period last year, it will go back and check 1st January 2018. So there is a sales. But on 1st January 2019, there was no sale. So it is blank. Okay, got it? So let's say for another date for which we have both of the values. So 3rd January 2019, I have same period last year is 5,250 and total sales is 4,037. Let's go ever. See 5,220. So it is a default function in Power BI where you don't have to write a function. You remember a date add function I told you? Date add function?
Yes, Deepa.
Yes, where you can add a date interval. You can add a month, you can subtract a month, you can add a year, anything, right? So same period last year is a date add function which subtract 1 year from your date. That's it. So this is same period last year. Another function is switch function. So switch function, as I just told you, switch function is like a if-else condition. So here in this switch function also you can see, like suppose if I have just created a measure which is called total orders, which is sum of my orders. So it returns me switch, it returns me say that if switch is true, like if it says that what do you expression you want, because switch function always asks for expression. So if I express, if something is true here, like if total orders is greater than equal to 0, then return, and total order is less than equal to 100, then return it is low. If it is a value is greater than 0 and less than equal to 100, then return low. If this value is greater than 100 and less than equal to 500, then return medium. So this is how a switch function works. Okay. So
Right.
yeah. So this is just an if-else condition. So this is how switch function.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It looks like if else function.
Yes, but in if-else condition, you just have only one if and else. Yeah. Here you can write
Okay, but here you can have multiple.
conditions. You can write as many switches. You have then another function which is calculate, which we have already discussed. Top-n function. What is top-n function? Top-n function means it will tell you that return top-n, and n is 2 over here. So let's see first top-n. So top-n function returns the given number of top rows according to the specified expression. So what expression I am writing here? I am writing that calculate first total sales and return me top 2 value. From which top 2 value? Okay, let's see. So it asks me n value. N value means I want to return top 2 value. Then it asks me that it asks me the table. It asks me the table and then asks me the order expression. So what table? From which table I want to get it? So table name is brand table. Why did I write all? Because I don't want to filter any value because if I filter, I can write only brands as well. If I filter some of the value, if I just write brand, so if on my visual, if I have any filter, it will consider those filter and give me then top 10, top 2 value. You got it what I'm asking? I said that like if I have filtered two, just wait. Like if I have filtered two brands, which was Electra and one more Heller value. So now the top n value will consider those filter and return me top two brands which are out of those two out of the filter that I've selected. So here I've selected two brands. So obviously the top two will be those two. But that's not my question. My question is what if from my overall sales, what is my top two? So now then I want to say go to top n, then write n value. So what is n? I said just 2, give me return 2. Now table, from which table? So I said all of brand name. What is all? Returns all the rows in a table and ignores any filter. So I don't want to filter anything. And then it asks you order by. How do you want to order by? So here you can write order by decreasing, order by something like, and how do you want to order? On which column you want to order? So it is completely it is optional. You can write either or you can not write. So ordering is you can write you want to order it by brand name, you want to order it by any other value, like you have multiple values, you want to order it by sales as well. Some people want to order it by sales. So I don't have sales over here. I have to check it. What is my total sales now? So total sales, uh, LMNOPQ. Where is total orders? Total orders. Mm, mm, mm. Total sales. Okay, I'll use total orders, but I'm using sales now. Total total. So total sales. Total sales is a measure of sum of sales amount. Okay. So sum of sales amount. That is working here. So I can even order it by yeah, I can order it by total sales, obviously, and then it asks me that what is the this is the order expression. I want to order the sum of sales, and from how do you want to order? So you can either write the sales amount because I want to order it like that. Uh, order one does not taking any table, so you can even write this. So this is completely option. How do you want to write? Let me just close it. 2 times. Yeah, now it's fine. So I can use that value as well. Let me just show you what was my total brand. Hmm. 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 So this was calculating the total sales from two brands only. Okay. So this was the value, and I can select only two values from here if I want to. I can try filtering out the value and check. Let's get the brand name. brand name. Okay, so let's get a brand name. Okay, and remove this. Remove this. Okay. So can you see what are the top two? The sum of top two. See,
Yes,
45 plus
the
12 is
truck and
77.
electron.
Yeah. So this is how we can calculate. Okay. Let's go to the another measure. We have I have tried to capture all the measures. Min date, max date, we already understand. Try to cover them. You'll be able to understand all the measures, I'm sure. Has one value just I discussed. If else. So if else, see, here you can write if else condition like this as well and switch conditions. So better write switch condition. Ignore filter, how to ignore filter, that I just told you, that whenever you want to ignore all the filters, you can use all function. Edge cross filtered means, what does the edge cross filter function says? Is cross filter returns true when specified table or column name is cross filtered. What does it mean? It means that, let's go there. Yeah. It says that months long name, months long name. And if I'm using some table which is using a date as well, okay. Here. So here I have date column. Now this date column is filtering this order table. Yes, you understand this? This is the row, this is the direction of the filter. This order table is filtering this order item table, and this order item table is getting filtered by this customer table. This is one to many, and this is how the directions are here. So when I say a cross filter, means this date is filtering this order table. It is cross filtering these things. So that's what is cross filtered means. Is filtered, I just discussed it. Just take that if it is filtered or not. If yes, then return something. If no, then return something. Last 18 months you can, like, if I want to calculate that what is my sales for last 18 months, suppose, so I can calculate total sales, calculate, always ask for expression, then ask for a table. So my expression is total sales and then ask for a table. So what do I want to return inside a table? I want to say that last 18 months. How will you go for last 18 months? You can use a date add function, and then say that go to minus 18 months. You can even say that this date should be greater than equal to end of the month today. End of the month today means what is very intuitive. It just say that if today is 2nd July 2021, so end of month would be July. So this would be July. Then from this July goes 17 months back. So this is end of month. Then and condition is there, and if date add is less than equal to, what is less than equal to? Less than equal to end of month today, comma 0. From, like, from this date, from end of month of last 18th month, previous 18th month, till today's 18 month, till today's month end, calculate the sales. It is what it is doing. It is calculating the total sales and it is filtering this date value. You getting what is happening here? Manu? Hello? Hello, Manu, you're there? Hello?
Yes, Deepa. I'm here.
Okay, so you are getting what is happening here.
Yes. I got until the last ones. Yes.
So it says that what it is doing. You remember how does the calculate function work? Calculate function always asks for expression, then asks for a table. So I'm just giving it expression. So this is my expression, total sales. Then ask for a table. So what is my table? I am filtering a table, date table, which is taking the end of month of today's date. So today is 2nd July. So what is my end of month? End of month is July. So from July till 17th month back. So this from this date to this date calculate total sales. So this is last 18 months sale. You can reuse it for any date. You can also filter your calculations using sales for a specific year. So that's what you can also do. And there are also functions like MTD. What is MTD? Month to date. So calculate what is the sales for this month to date. Like starting month of July, 1st of July to 2nd of July. What are the sales? So date, month to date. This is the function. So you can use that function. Parallel period last year. What is parallel period last year? So parallel period last year, like if I've selected today's year. So today, what is my sales? Let me just tell you first here so that you better understand. Returns a parallel period of date by a given set of dates and specified interval. So suppose I have just told that my period, here I have said that what is the period? Period is 1 year. Period is 1 year. Okay, let's see how it works. It first asks for a year, then asks for a number of interval, then interval. So here I am giving it a date, then I am giving number of intervals, then I am giving type of interval. So I am saying that what is my same period last year? It could be same period. It is just same period. I'm same period last year. I'm telling because there is another function which is same period last year. So parallel period last year as well. So parallel period means if I'm selecting today's date, so from today's date, sorry, so from today's date, I am saying that go back to 1 year back, go back to 1 minus in terms of year. So same parallel period last year would parallel, it is saying parallel period last year. If I have not written here month, year, I could have written month. So this would have been parallel period last month. I can even say day, I can even say quarter, I can even say year. So that's how parallel period works. So when I'm trying to calculate, I want to create a bar chart and I want to say that this year my sales was this, last year my sales was that, previous year my sales. So in those conditions we calculate parallel period instead. Okay. Percentage. That's what we discussed also, right? You remember? If I'm writing 10, if I'm writing 50, so this is for my category A, this is for my category B. I want to calculate a percentage, that how much is 10 out of this A and B. How do you calculate, Manu?
Percentage of A and B.
Percentage of A and B
Percentage
out
of
of
A and B
total.
out of total.
Like together or A out of total or B out of
Yeah,
total?
obviously, yeah.
Yeah,
A out of
obviously.
total and B
Yeah,
out
out
of
of
total.
total and
Right, right. So we do
You just do
we
A
do
upon
calculate. Yeah.
A plus
A
B,
upon
right?
A plus B, right?
Yes.
And similarly here you
And
will do
similarly
B
here you
upon
will
B
do
plus
B
C.
B upon
by
B plus
A
C.
plus B.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, right?
So
Yes.
this
So
in
this
Power BI, how will you achieve that? So for that there is I have calculated. So first of all you will calculate total sales. So this would be for every row, right? And then you will calculate for all the rows. For like here you have calculated A plus B. It means this value, this sum is not only for this, not only for this is for the total. It means that you are not creating any filter on top of this sum. So this is all selected. All calculate this sum and then calculate the total sales. So this total sales will be for each row. This calculated value which all selected value for all the values, no filters, and you divide this by this. So this will give you a percentage. Uh, so there are multiple ways to do the same thing. I just told you as well. Ignore filter function. If you remember, if I just told you, you just use all function. So same function you can use it like this, that divides total sales divide by all function. Previous quarter we just told you, how do you calculate the previous quarter sales. So you can use a parallel period as well, you can use the same period, you can even use a date add function and you can say go to -1, I mean go back by 1 quarter and you can calculate the sales. So similarly the previous year you will use go back by 1 year. So these are some calculation. It will just tell you not blank, not is blank. So this is again another function. What is each blank? Each blank is a function which check that the value that is in the output is blank or not. It just check that. So here it is saying not is blank. It means is blank what it will check? If it is blank, if it is blank then say yes. If it is not blank then say no. So if it is blank then say yes. If it is not blank then say yes. So if total sales is not blank and if previous quarter year sales is not blank, then return me total sales minus previous quarter sales. So that's what quarter to quarter sales. This is the function doing. So there are multiple conditions. Obviously, if you know how to write is blank, how to write the variable condition, how to write divide, obviously you will be it's not that you learn all the that, you'll remember. Rank functions also calculate the uh, rank of the sales value. So see, it is this rank function, it is giving me that how these values, like this value, this value, this value, how these values are there, like how these values, the total sales, take the total sales, take the all sales brand and then give it a rank and give this rank on basis of descending order. So rank function, then you have dynamic rank function. You can even check that if this product is in scope or not. What does mean that in scope? In scope means if I have sales value in one table, but product value for which I want to calculate rank is into another table. Then I check in scope. If this product is in scope of the rank, if this the product on which I am trying to calculate the rank is in scope to my order table. So this calculates in scope. So if it is in scope means if this product is in product table as well as in the order table. So if it is that condition, then it will return yes. So if it is in scope, then check that if my total sales is not blank, then give it a rank. Else give it rank by do not filtering anything. So multiple conditions you can write. Value function, I told you earlier, value function always returns a table, and on that table you can calculate any values. Difference between values, like values and distinct, always returns a table. So difference between values and table is that values also count the always also takes the zero value. Like if you have A, B, C, D and blank, so values function also counts the blank value. While if you are using a distinct function and if you have blank in that table, it will ignore that. It will not consider that blank. So simple. All these things we have already covered. Yeah, these things we have done. So I think we have covered almost all the things. I'll share this graph with you. I think we have done all these things as well. We have done this button shapes, right? We have done all these things. We have done modeling, manage roles. Okay, so next time we'll cover the manage roles, how the row level security is applied, and one thing is remaining, and what else? What else? I don't think anything is remaining. Okay, view. Inside view, there is fit to page, fit to width, actual size, and there is mobile layout. So in mobile layout, you can use the views of your table and you can create a mobile view. But this mobile view will always be available in portrait, not in landscape. Okay, then you have lock objects. What is lock object? Lock all the object in place so that they stay put while you are giving presentation or interacting. Sometimes it happens that when I'm giving a presentation, my and the projector is very big. So how it happens if I'm using a page fit to page width, so my chart might get zoomed too much of it get too much zoomed, and the my visuals might not look good. So in those cases, to avoid those cases, we use lock objects. We have already done bookmark selections, so not an issue. Have we done the this one themes?
Themes.
Yeah.
Which one, Deepa?
Themes.
Uh,
Okay, no problem. Let me do.
no, we didn't do any themes, I think, Deepa. No.
I'm just trying to go out of this mobile view. Yeah, now I'm out. Okay, so what is themes? Power BI gives different types of themes, but this is standard Power BI theme. Different organizations have different themes, like Fidelity has a different theme. Every company has a different theme, and they want to maintain those visual standards. So they provide a theme, and those themes are available in PBIT format. Like if you save a Power BI file, it saves in PBIX. So those themes are available in PBIT format or in JSON format. Suppose I use this theme. So whatever is there in this theme, like the color, customs, values, all will get according to those themes. If I want to just edit this theme, use this theme but edit it according to my, so I can use customize current theme. So what customize current theme will do? Let it open. I can use the name and color. I can say that okay, the name should be something, any, you can use any name, you can use any color. Suppose I want to use, just to show you, I don't want to use this color, but yeah, I want to use this color. The color too should be like this.
Deepa, your screen is frozen
No,
because I'm not able to see anything opening in my in the video.
let me share again. Let me know once you are able to see. Are you able to see? Hello?
Yes, now I'm able to see the
Yeah. So, did you see that? How did I go to
No,
cast?
nothing.
Okay, let's
I
see.
didn't see any of
Did you see that? How did I use this custom theme? Okay, let's choose that. So when I'm trying to use a theme, every company has a different theme. Power BI also has different standard of themes. So suppose I'm using this theme. Okay. So I'm using this theme, but instead of going to this visual and then changing each and everything, like I want the field name should be, I want to display some unit values like this. I want my total font color should be blue, and then I want that the title font color should be some different color, the background should be different color, the font family should be of different thing. So instead of changing it one by one, we can also do the customize current theme. Okay. So go to the customize current theme. Suppose I say I do not want this purple color, I just want this blue color. Suppose I say this, and then I say I don't want this green, I just want maybe a lighter one, just to show you that it is actually applying. And I don't want to use this, suppose I want to use this. Okay, maybe I just want to check, that's why I just want to change everything so that you understand that what is happening. Okay. Mhm. And it is saying that how do you want to check your sentiment. So for negative I'm using a bright red, for green I'm using a greener, this is fine, and for yellow I'm using a orange. Okay. Yeah, orange. Okay, so these are my sentiments and I'm trying applying. Okay, now I can have them. Yeah, so this was my name and color. Then I can change my font color, font family. So suppose I say no, use this CGI bold. In general I want to use, suppose, maybe Arial, just to show you that these are actually changing. Maybe I want to use a font color which is, uh, let's say, blue, and title I want to use CGI bold, and I want to use um, this color. Okay, card. I want to use Sejuai bold. I don't want this font. I want this color, and I want the font size to be 25 and not more than that. Tab headers are fine, but I just want the color should be like this. Okay, so now I have changed. Let's see the new font color. Okay, so you see everything has changed. The color, the font type, things have changed. Similarly, if you apply it here, I was using this. I was using here. See, the bar chart colors, the colors of this name have got changed. So is that okay?
Yes, Deepa. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so we have got this themes as well. Okay. Have we discussed about add columns? Add columns, summarize, I think I don't remember.
I think we did. Yes.
Yeah, then fine. Okay, so I think now we have discussed almost, I think we discussed about the conditional formatting as well, but let me show you. You might recall. So if I want to apply some conditional formatting on any value, I'll just go and right click and say background color, data bar, anything. If I say on go to data bar and I say that show bar only will only show me bar. So it will not give me any value. And if I go to and say no, don't show me only bar, show me values as well. So I'll say lowest, minimum, left to right, axis is this, minimum, negative bar, how the negative bar you want to show. Suppose you want to show the negative bar is this. However, there is no negative value. And you just what enter the you want to enter some custom values over here, you can do like this. So this is how you go to a data bar. You can even use background color, font color, or icons. Suppose you want to use a icon that greater value, less than value, this much. So suppose you can even use that. You can obviously I'm just not writing any condition over here. You can even write conditions. Like if this value is greater than some percentage, some value, like if this value is greater than 19,000, then give this color. You have ample of icons. You can even choose icons like this, that you want this icon or that icon. You can choose anything. Do you want to choose top alignment, middle alignment? You want your icon towards the right of the data, only icons. You want to calculate it average, or you want to based on this column you want to use some different value. Like if I have calculated, I'm showing the conditional formatting on average column, but I want to show the count. Like I want to use icons basis on count, because I have multiple conditional formatting available. I can use icons, I can use data bar, multiple things. So I can even use a measure. I can even use a measure and say that if my count is this, then use that. And so I can do multiple things and do my conditional formatting. So that is also available in Power BI. So I think we have covered almost all things. um, Next time we can try, because it is already 11:30. So next time we can try smart narrative, text function, and I think Power BI is done from my side. you can ask me any questions if you have in the next
Yes,
session.
Sefa, sure.
Yeah, I think we are
Yes.
pretty good with all the things. Uh, yeah, data. Next time, if you want, then we can. I mean, I'm done from Power BI side. You can ask me any question, and then we can later on we can start with SQL. That's how.
Yes, Sefa,
That's
sure.
how I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let me stop this.